Welcome to Natural Born Talents. Today's subject is a refresher course on the basic functions of auras. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos about auras that are very misleading, have very little helpful or practical applications to your soul or psyche, or valid information about your daily routine, career or life choices, or relationships. This is unfortunate because what will happen is that people won't take the subject seriously or think of it as some pseudoscience. I can assure you what you're seeing on this channel comes from a psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Bowers, who founded this information, and me 35 years of verifying the information that you see on this channel. Since we are in the middle of doing career choices and lifestyles of the various auras, I thought I'd make a refresher course for the longtime subscribers and a basic training course for the new subscribers to this channel. And if you ever have any doubts of the information on this channel, please feel free to ask questions. So let's begin. The first thing I'd like to point out is the basic layers of an aura. A person can have anywhere from 2 to 4 layers of auras. The example you're seeing here is a yellow with a conflicting aura of violet, and the third layer, the outer layer, which there are a lot of videos I've seen on the outer layer, and I have seen very little accurate information about the psyche of an individual when referring to the outer layer. More on that later. The first layer you see here is the yellow. When this individual was born, that aura is going to influence the individual most of the time. As this individual gets older, the second aura is a violet. And a violet and a yellow are actually clashing auras. They don't get along very well. They're kind of the opposite of each other. Therefore, this individual will have a lot of internal struggle within their psyche, wanting to go out and play half the time, and the other time trying to get very serious about making their mark on the world. Now again, as you see, the 3OL, meaning outer layer, refers to daily moods or changes or influences of things around this individual. According to Dr. Bowers, this has very little to do with the core psyche of the individual. It only has to do with what this individual is going through at the moment of time. So anybody making an aura reading on this level will only be useful for the day it was read. The core auras, CO, refer to something that you will have to the end of your life. They do not change. There are very rare exceptions to this when somebody has an accident or near-death experience. Some of these changes may happen, but that's extremely rare. Now there's another exception as well, and that is when you get what is known as a red overlay. If a child at the early ages, say around from birth to around 1, 2, or 3, has a very physical or psychological traumatic incident that comes into their lives, a third core aura will overlay the 2 other core auras. And the reason for this is a survival instinct aura. The personality of this aura is very similar to the basic red aura. However, it does have other elements within it that will influence the psyche of this individual. I'll make a special video on that again about the red overlay. Some of you may have taken the test and been a little bit confused about what you really are, because you get these 3 or 4 high scores in areas that seem to conflict with one another. Now, of the colors, as you see in this chart here, you have the first 3 environmental physical groups, the orange, red, magenta, the 2 biokinetic in group A2, which are the yellow and the half green and half tan. And the half green and half tan counts as one aura, one core aura. Then you have the B group, which are the mental groups, which I just finished videos on career and life choices, which is the tan, green, and the red tan. And again, the red tan is a single personality type. The next group, C, which is the emotional, the blue, tan, another split aura, the blue, and the violet. And the last is the spiritual group, Group D, which are the lavender, crystal, and the indigo. These are the ones that tend to be the Heoka empaths and the like. But not always. I've seen Heoka empaths in other colors. They're just less common. Now, if you look at this chart, most of you are going to have at least two of these. Your basic core aura that is closest to your body, your second layer, which is going to influence you as you get older, and again, the third outer layer, which has very little meaning and changes to all kinds of colors, including rainbow from time to time. Now, I'd like to mention the color of the crystal aura a little bit. Some people call this a white aura, a clear aura, a gray aura. For this channel, we'll call it the crystal. I have seen this on some people, and it has a tendency to shimmer a gray-green color, and I believe it's because it's reflecting other people's auras, which crystals naturally do. But having said that, beyond this, I have never can confirm and never have seen any other color than what you see in this chart here for the core auras. I have heard of things like pink, not magenta. I've heard of aqua green and other colors. I have never seen these colors. I've never seen any alterations of personalities from these auras. I've never seen any other combination that I could confirm. Now, a lot of people would argue that if you had the yellow-violet combination, you would come up with a pretty unusual personality type, and it's true. That individual is going to express a very weird, sort of unstable personality disorder at times, and other times being extremely playful and helpful, practical, but somewhat autocratic and tyrannical at times. It would be very unusual indeed, but it doesn't mean it's making up a new color. Now let's take a quick look at another couple of combinations here. We have a blue indigo combination. While not exactly the most complementing combination you could have, it certainly would represent somebody who is spiritually moving forward. They start off as a blue, being very mother-like, very gentle, loving, but extremely emotional, and move into something more advanced spiritually as they went along. Be very interesting to see indeed. Now here's someone who only has one core aura, a red, and one outer layer. This is somewhat common. Most reds only have one core aura. That is because their function in this world is basically to survive, to be a part of this world, to be very closely connected to nature, to focus on issues like these as opposed to the emotional garbage the rest of us have to go through. Here is another example of an individual who has two core auras, the green tan, and his second aura being a tan, and the outer layer being a pink. So this individual must be having quite an unusual day in regards to its first primary auras. This is why auras are kind of hard to read when you can see the colors, because the first aura, the green 10, as explained earlier, is one personality type, one core aura. And the second one on this individual is a tan core aura. So this gets confusing. Both auras are mental in general. So this individual will probably go through life being really overcautious about financial decisions they may make, about relationships, etc., etc. So in conclusion, I'd like to ask any of my listeners if you see anything else that you don't understand related to auras within this channel or otherwise. I'd be happy to answer. Auras are extremely complicated, and it's very hard. It can take a lifetime to figure out all the auras that are influencing your life or your psyche. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one.